Hi, I'm Sally Richards and I trained many years ago as a chef at Tartary School of Food and Wine in London, and then spent 4 years working for both British and European royal families based in London. Also taught at Leeds School of Food and Wine in London. Under the current circumstances, many people are having to cook meals from scratch with ingredients that they can find in the shops, which is completely out of their normal comfort zone. For me, I cook every day for my family using fresh ingredients and from scratch, but for many of you, this is not a normal occurrence. So I thought we'd share with you some of the things that I'm doing for my family with the ingredients that I can find in the supermarket. I was lucky enough not to be able to find this big bag of rice this week, having not been able to find any potatoes, pasta or any other form of starch. So it looks like rice is going to be featuring heavily in our diets for a while, and I think my family is going to get very bored of rice unless I find some ways of jazzing it up and making it a little bit more interesting. So we will start day one with maybe trying to make the rice a little bit more interesting. I also found some lovely salmon fillets. There's 4 of us in the family and there are 5 here, so I will show you what to do with 4 of them, and then what I'm planning on doing with the 5th one is probably making into some fish cakes when I have some potatoes. I also have an orange and some ginger. Ginger is freezes very well, so I shall use what I need and then put the rest in the freezer, and I can then use it later on in the week or months ahead to jazz up some other food that we might have. So I'm going to cut off about an inch piece of the ginger. I'm going to peel it and then grate it in over the top of my salmon. I'm then going to squeeze the blood orange and pour that over and then season, and then leave it for about 20 minutes to take on the flavour of the orange and the ginger. I think that the key is going to be to use everything you've got and to have minimal waste. So I've got no pits in there, so I'm going to pour it all in. That'll give some extra fibre in there. And put a little bit of pepper. And give that a good mix about. And just leave that to marinate in there for about 20 minutes to take on the flavour of the orange and the ginger. So we're going to cook the salmon. I'm going to put it on the griddle and just put a spray of oil on the pan. So I'm going to get my salmon fillets out and put them on my hot pan. Leave them there for a few moments. let them sear nicely. And we should have nice and then pour the marinade over the top. And put the lid on and then put them into the oven for about 8 minutes. This is in the top right of my Aga, which is just over 200 degrees C or gas mark 6 for 8 to 10 minutes until they're just cooked all the way through, or slightly pink in the middle, depending on how you like your salmon. Put my rice on to cook as you would normally cook rice, or per instructions on the packet. I've brought mine up to boil on the top of the Aga and then push it into the simmering oven to cook through. But you have to do whatever method you would normally cook it, depending on what cooking appliances you have. So I've got some French beans here that I'm just going to chop up. A little bit of broccoli and then some asparagus. So I'm going to cut the asparagus, so I will cook the heads slightly for slightly less time than the stems, and I can also keep them separate so I can scatter them on top as a nice garnish. 8 minutes later, it's out. Oh, just press it and it's given under my finger, which means it's cooked and ready. So I'm just going to put that to the side for a minute to rest and keep warm. And my pan of water has very nearly come to the boil. I can cook my veg, put the stems, it's just coming to the boil now, so that's perfect. I'm just going to put my asparagus stems in, and my beans and broccoli. Put the lid back on and that can come back up to the boil. So we want to use every part of the vegetables because we don't want to waste anything. So I'm just going to take the salmon out of the pan so that I can just make a little bit of sauce out of the juices that are left in the bottom of the pan. And smell the ginger. Okay. So I'm going to put that on here, and I'm going to use a little bit. There are a few juices in the bottom of the pan, so I'm just going to use a little bit of my vegetable water to lift the juices off the bottom of the pan. You get the flavours and vitamins that are in the vegetable water. Just let that bubble away. And I can just okay, I've just got the rice out of the oven, which is perfectly cooked there, and then I'm going to add the chopped stems of the vegetables and just mix those through. I can hear the sauce reducing down in the background. That's ready. All the bits are coming off the bottom of the pan and it's a nice deep brown colour. So spoon rice onto the bottom of the bowl. And then put the salmon on top. Any juices that are left. Sprinkle a few bits of asparagus on top. Okay. Some broccoli. Okay. That's reduced down. You still can taste the ginger and orange in there. Just take that and pour that over the top, which will make the rice more interesting. And there you have it.